Self-neglect is self-disrespect. Understand that the poorest people on the planet always disrespect and neglect their self. Now, unless you want to live a life that's stuck in hell, then you better repel yourself away from neglecting your own life. Every time you disregard your responsibility to respond with efficiency in your life, you're really just degrading and choosing self-degradation instead of implying that you and demonstrating that you love yourself by conducting yourself that way. So every time you decide to pick up that bottle, every time you decide to smoke that pain away, every time you decide to jack off to Pornhub, remember, you're being a fucking loser. And you have to understand that it takes a weak mind and it takes a broken soul to go against their own love, to go against their own soul. Because you have to understand, like, the fundamentals of reality. It's like love is the creative generative force. Like, if your parents didn't make love, unless they're lustful, and if you're like, you have to make love to create, right? So if you're making love to create, then you have to understand that's a fundamental force in the universe. But your soul is your love. So your self-love, you have to love yourself. And when you love yourself actually, and you conduct yourself you demonstrate that you love yourself with conduct, so you're conducing love into yourself through action, then you begin to find and self-discover the most beautiful aspects of your being. But as long as you remain that inferior primate, as long as you continue to watch porn and jack your dick off to women that you would never fuck, every time you pick up the vape because you're too much of a bitch to look at your addictions and find out why you're vaping, if you're smoking weed to try to resist the fact that you're a pussy and you can't deal with reality how it is and go out into the world and construct the reality you want, then just render yourself an inferior, despicable, indispensable, minute piece of shit that can't take responsibility for their own life. So you can either respond effectively to your life, or you can remain in that inferior state of being and choose self-degradation and annihilation versus going out and growing as a human being. Now, a lot of people, they want to go against their best self and they want to take us with them, but fuck those people, because they're still in the same position and they're never going to grow in life, and their life is really just a big mistake. And it's not a mistake because they were born, it's a mistake because all they did was make mistakes. If you make mistakes your entire fucking life, your life's a mistake. If you perpetually sequence yourself through the same fucking loop of events because you're making the same mistake, you're a fucking idiot. So instead of making the same mistake, look at your life and change. All you have to do is change. All you have to do is realize you're making a mistake. The motherfuckers that make a mistake and then do it again on perpetual sequences until they fucking die are the motherfuckers that believe they don't have a fucking mistake. Now, if your cognitive functions are so impaired to the degree that you can't even comprehend when you make a fucking mistake, no wonder your life fucking sucks and you're the individual you don't want to be. So instead of relaxation and procrastination, instead of being a crass individual, you should look at your fucking life, find out what you could develop and envelop the character that you want to become, find out what your mission is on earth, and then go out into the world, fulfill and complete it, instead of depleting and receding and fucking being a low-level, deplorable, dispensable, indoctrinated, slave subordinates, fucking worky, wagey, brokey. Then you should probably lock in on your life. See what you can learn. Be a better individual. Take care of yourself. Health and fitness is literally the key to the beginning of your unfoldment. So if you want to be a better individual, you better get fucking fit. And if you're not fit, then you're really just a bitch, because the fucking squirrel and the chimpanzee and the monkey are all fit. So then you're inferior to inferior creatures on earth. So if you're not fit, if you're not healthy, you're inferior to inferior creatures on earth. And if you're smoking and drinking, you're even more inferior to the creatures on earth, because not even the starving dog needs a fucking bottle and weed to cope with its reality, and it's living a reality and experience that's harder than you. So you have to understand that before you victimize yourself into feeling as if you're a little bitch, you're really not a little bitch. You're just pretending to be a little bitch, and then you're conforming you're conforming yourself into a little bitch because you want to feel like a little bitch, to neglect the responsibility that a little bitch wouldn't have. So every time you decide to say, nah, I can't quit, I'm a little bitch, nah, I'm too weak to quit my addictions, remember, you're just conforming your perception to believe you're a little bitch so you don't fucking quit, because that's how bad you're addicted. Like, you have to understand how human psychology works. You can't make an excuse and expect us to feel bad for you. Every time you decide to kill yourself passively, remember, you're displaying and you're renditioning and you are auditioning yourself as an inferior specimen of what not to be. So every time you hit that vape, remember, there's people that are watching you, and you're just rendering yourself an inferior primate. And if you have a little brother and you have a little sibling and they vape and they smoke and they drink because you do, then you're even more of an inferior primate, because the reason they do that is because they saw you do that. So before you conform your perception to believe you're a little bitch and feel bad for yourself and victimize yourself for being addicted, remember that you have all responsibility and accountability that I'm going to hold you to, because you shouldn't be addicted, because your inadequacy reverberates into the cosmos, influxing other individuals to perceive you and then conceive the notion that being an addicted fucking bum lame is okay to be, and okay to just to slur their speech how drunk they are. The human state, the human condition, the human circumstance that they implement and then sequence into their own existence is grotesque. So don't be another low-level piece of shit, and get your life right, get your mind right, and make the right fucking choice. Peace. Join the self-development regimen in the link below. You can DM me personally on Instagram. We'll get your mind right. We'll get your body right. We have the fitness program. We track your macros. We give you a workout routine. We'll ensure that you become a better individual by assigning you 3 daily habits that will help you become a better individual and develop yourself in the ideal way to become the individual you always needed. And then we're going to ensure that we get rid of your vices. We make sure that you're no longer going to be addicted and stay that low-level, inadequate piece of shit that you don't even want to be, so you use substances to escape your reality. Now, I'm the realest motherfucker on earth, and if you need to develop yourself, then I'm the perfect motherfucker for you. So get your mind right, get your soul right, and don't be an inadequate piece of shit, non-competent fucking soul that is depleting himself and just choosing hedonism and choosing pleasure over purpose. It's purpose over pleasure, motherfucker.